So, hey guys, I'd just like to welcome you to the HypeFuse Vainglory stream. Today we have ValiantZ versus Legend. It's going to be a very competitive match. I believe that ValiantZ is highly competitive and Legend is highly competitive as well. Most of them averaging about tier 9 to tier 10, so we expect to see some competitive play.
Right, so it looks like we have some issues with one of the members. Should be on shortly.
So, Helix, what do you think about the competitive field now in Vainglory?
The general competitive field. Well, it's we all know about the esports and what happened to the esports and how Vainglory is trying to focus more on advertisements, like how Mobile Legends focuses on advertisement and Instagram. So we all know that this is happening now. So I don't think that esports will be that big, but in my opinion, it is way better for Vainglory to have focused on regular advertisement than just focusing on pushing the Vainglory competitive scene for more players to join in. Because as we saw, that didn't really work that well. But if we looked at the first Vainglory tournament, the first World Series, we had a lot of people watching. It was like a huge spike. A lot of players joined. But it would be interesting to see Vainglory change and go back to their regular advertising, like ads, Instagram, YouTube ads, whatever it is that they are planning on doing. And Vainglory is not like one of those huge organizations, which is like 10-cent games, which can throw millions out the window. So I don't think that the esports scene will be that huge, but this is also the beauty of it, because at the same time, it is just giving a chance for other players or wannabe professional players to actually play in the competitive scene. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yes, I do believe it's going to be very interesting. We've had a high NA request for this tournament and a decent EU request, and I believe that HypeFuse are providing a unique experience for all players as they are allowing all tiers to compete. You can complete. You don't need to be pro to compete. It's open to everyone at tournament. I think you would agree as well.
And yep, I do agree. And here we go. We are now into the drafts. First person to ban. We're just gonna see how the bans go, and people are. I'm just expecting a few picks to be banned, like Celeste, since she's still overpowered. Although she has been reworked, she has been nerfed. She is still a powerful mage mid lane. But they go with the Scarf ban, which is quite interesting. I haven't seen a Scarf ban in tier 10 ranked yet. Tier 9 ranked, actually. I haven't hit tier 10 in 5v5 yet. And B side is now banning. They go with the Kensei ban, which is expected because Kensei is really strong when it comes to fighting as a team. He can just get that massive shield through his passive and is just overpowered. Okay, A side is planning on banning Meline, which should be a good ban as well, because she is still
Mhm.
strong. They just shifted the focus of Meline on her abilities to her
Mhm.
basics. If you notice, the Aftershock build is really strong on her, so Meline is banned. It's weird that we haven't seen a Celeste ban yet, or a Lance ban, since Weapon Power Lance is very dominant, especially in jungle. He's really strong, he can deal a lot of damage. Early to mid game, he's like 50% of a carry's HP, and since it's 5v5, you're gonna have 3 carries, so...
Mhm.
oh, and there you go, Reza ban. Reza is also powerful. But we have a lot of picks, which are really strong picks that are open, like Samuel, Taka, Celeste. So this should be a bloodbath if they do go for those powerhouse picks. Lyra's coming out from A side. That's their first
But
pick.
people are asking who the casters are. I'd just like to say the caster is Helix. Helix is a highly experienced caster and is a good friend of the CEO of HypeFuse.
I would like to add that I am not a highly experienced caster. This is my first time casting, but I did have some game knowledge. And here we go. As I said, Celeste, such a powerhouse, is being picked by B side. Is this CP or weapon power address? I would believe it's a CP address because weapon power address is not that great in 5v5 since you have to dive in against the enemy, and the only way you can actually survive is if you have double defense, and even then you won't deal your full impact. Here we go, Varia. I really want to see Glaive in this. Glaive has been really powerful in dominating lanes. His early to mid game is phenomenal. He can just rush in lanes and put the enemy carry out of position. I just want to see Glaive. If I see Glaive, I am happy. Alright, they picked the Catherine. It looks like it's a CP Lyra.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
It looks like. It either could be a CP Lyra or a CP Catherine, but if you want to do CP Catherine, you're gonna need a lot of hyper carries. You know, CP Catherine is not necessarily one to dish out damage. She just has insane CC. But I don't believe it is a CP Catherine. It could be a CP Lyra.
Yeah.
Arden on B side. Once again, I'd like to point out that Arden isn't necessarily a really powerful pick when it comes against Lyra. As long as he stays away from Lyra, he can be fully effective. But if Lyra is really good with her B, then she can stop that. The ult, the B, the blood for blood, the Vanguard, she can stop all of that if she's good. So B side they have to bait out the Bulwark if they want to really do something with it. We have Rona. I haven't noticed that. Rona's really powerful too, especially in oh, okay. Interesting. So in this case, I don't really know what we should do. Probably redo the whole exact same drafts maybe.
Yes. It looks like the draft was cancelled. I think it has to go on again.
It either has to go again or we either have to give the win to the opposing side. So, well, let's just see the whole new draft again. They're going for Scarf once again. Scarf has been banned. See, it's not like in 3v3. In 3v3, you usually want your supports to be first pick, your support main player to be first, so he can pick his support. But in this case, I see that oh yeah, they're doing the same exact pick. Sucker. All right, okay. This seems fair. There you go.
So it wasn't actually that.
Daria, Catherine. Yeah, there you go. And this is gonna be Arden and Rona. So exact same order. Okay, this seems fair. Seems legit. And there you go. They have a Gwen, weapon power Gwen. She is powerful, but they nerfed tension bow, so this is gonna be really interesting. I have not seen a weapon powered Gwen in 5v5 in a while now. So this is gonna be really interesting for me to see here. I don't know how the dynamics are gonna play out, especially that detention ball has been nerfed. So
Yes.
Glaive, pick Glaive, nuke. There you go. Yeah, yeah. All I wanted was Glaive. We got Glaive. Oh, Ringo has been buffed too. I have not seen Ringo yet. I've seen him in 3v3 and he is a monster. I have not seen him in 5v5 yet. So this
Yeah,
will be
agreed.
very interesting. This game will be very interesting, yeah.
Agreed.
As I said, it will be a bloodbath. We have a lot of powerhouse picks like Varia, Celeste, CP address probably. Yeah, it's a CP address. It's not going to be a weapon power address. So this will be very interesting.
We've got two powerful teams. Very powerful.
To be honest, I have no background about these teams, but
I
I
do
think
think
they would be.
I do think Legend are new to the esports field. However, I do believe VLZ do have some previous esports experience and have been thriving through tournaments as well.
All right. So this could be it could be more of the other side because they have more experience, so they know how to deal with the pressure of being an enemy. Since you got to play very differently. This is not the regular Vainglory anymore. This is competitive Vainglory. So every mistake does have a consequence.
Yes, I agree. Because as we saw last time, wow, in the Guild Wars finals, Samuel dropped asleep, and then everyone went to sleep, and that's what led to EQ's final victory. WoW had them in the first match. However, due to that sleep presented by Samuel, they did not succeed to victory.
We might have a sneaky play bot lane, but never mind. They all back off. Top lane, there's some form of engage. Lyra's poking. Looks like the supports are gonna start. They're gonna start top lane. Yep, it is. It is a CP Catherine. It looks like it, at least.
Yeah.
Right, top lane is being poked out of their comfort zone. This doesn't look safe for them. Going for their rotation. See, at this point, you would want to go for the enemy jungler and try to pull it towards you. So they would, since they don't have the HP advantage, they wouldn't necessarily go for it. They'll just give you that experience. Lyra misses her sigil. That was bad by Lyra, but it happens. There you go. And this is what I was talking about. They want to steal that rotation. So if Lyra can get this healing treant, it's gonna be great. She does get it. She does get it. This could be first blood. That is first blood. Doesn't look like anything else is happening top lane. We see Glaive at mid lane. He might be going for a play. He does afterburn does connect. Celeste has been damaged really severely. She's gonna have to watch out now. She's healed up all the way. Well, that's unfortunate for Glaive. That was a pointless gank. But they do know now that Celeste does not have a flask, so if they have the communication. Top lane is being pushed. Bot lane is being pushed as well. Looks like A side is pretty dominant in the early. They have first blood. They have, I would say, about a decent goal advantage. Usually in situations where it is a 5v5 map, you would see most of the action going down in mid lane, but it seems like the side lanes are the ones that are having most of the combat and action. Mid lane is pretty passive. They both have decent HPs.
Yes, it's very tactical.
Once again, top lane is engaging. Ring goes down to half HP. Lyra she wants to keep that poke. Once again with Lyra, it's if the first attack connects, the second one is just bound to hit you. You cannot escape it. Alright, there's a 4-man team fight top lane. It's a 4v3. Can they take this? Alright, VLZ are regrouping. Lyra is in some form of trouble. Teammates, there you go. Is that gonna be a kill? Oh no, she escapes.
Very well played.
They are extremely low though. She can still go in for a kill, but she does decide to play safe, which is always a good thing. And this is what I was saying about playing competitive. It is kind of different than regular ranked Vainglory or a 5-man ranked Vainglory match. Because you want to play really safe. She would have gone in, but she decided to go back and push her lane. That poke from Varia in the lane though was pretty decent. Celeste will have a hard time to lane against Varia, especially that Varia can out-trade her early on with her basics. But once she hits her level 8 power spike, which she is leveling pretty decently compared to the Varia. And here you go, this is what I was talking about when I said Glaive is really dominant in early to mid game. One mistake can lead to your death against the Glaive, and this is how you slowly build up that advantage. Top lane has engaged. Glaive comes in, look at that damage. He grabs that weapon buff, pushes Ron onto a wall. He should have done that to Arden. Pretty decent play, pretty decent play. I think at this point he should go for a counter jungle, or he will go for a counter jungle. Bot lane is pretty neutral, mid lane is pretty neutral. Top lane just has all the pressure. I think VLZ are really focusing the pressure on top lane since Rona is melee. They just want her not to get fed. Because if she does get fed, they are in one hell of a trouble. They're gonna have to deal with someone that can 1v5.
So let's talk a bit about their build.
As I pointed out early on, Tension Bow has been nerfed. And as we noticed that, usually when a Gwen would build Tension Bow, she's gonna build it for the early poke. In this case, since she is going against a nerfed Crystal Power Idris, and if the Tension Bow was not nerfed, she would have gone for Tension Bow just to destroy the Idris and just keep him out of the farm. But as we saw, she's going for a Sorrow Blade, which is a pretty smart build, especially that Sorrow Blade does build into the late game compared to the Tension Bow. Now, Idris will not necessarily get his passive just yet. He's gonna need double prisms. This looks like a team fight going on. Glaive comes in, and once again, Glaive with the amazing afterburn.
For our game, just speaking, it is an EU tournament.
Alright, so speaking more about the builds, we're looking at Celeste, and usually when we see a Celeste, we would, since she's going against a Lyra, we would usually see a Spellfire. Now, Celeste realizes that there's a Glaive. She's not going to stay long enough within the fight to stack that Dragon's Eye or deal enough damage with that Spellfire. She notices that, and so she goes for a Shattered Glass, which is amazing. It's an amazing thing as well on Celeste, especially when you can't really do much. You just want to deal as much damage as you can. You just want to explode the enemy team as fast as you can before you die, and that's your job as a hyper carry. We see bot lane has a sneaky little push there. They're slowly building up the lane. There's a huge team fight top lane. Finally, Legends grab their first kill in the game. They VLZ still has this gold advantage. I think it was due to the early game that they kind of lost. Now, if they do play it correctly, we will see a comeback. And this is what I like. I just want to see a comeback. Right, Lyra's getting destroyed. They should have focused on the Catherine. There you go. That's a kill by Catherine on the Ringo.
Yes,
Nice three-man silence. Catherine's gonna go down though. Is Lyra going to go down as well? She's out of position. She heals up. That sigil saves her life. And there you go. The tides turn. It's a double kill by Glaive. Pick up the red buff, Lyra. There you go. What was that, bud?
the glaive is proving very effective in this match.
Yeah, he's really powerful early to mid game. Especially, he's not useless late game, but late game he just has to be really accurate with his afterburn. Because it's gonna be a clumped up team fight.
I see.
Lyra's he's in big trouble against the Ringo. Once again, Ringo has been buffed, so okay, he lets her go. He doesn't chase. That's a very smart decision. Probably because they don't have vision. If they did, he would have chased and it would have been a kill. Look at that damage by Varia. It's a bloodbath. Oh, that was beautiful. She almost got that. Now, if she does channel it through Rona, she can grab the kill.
I see.
Wow, there you go. BML with a dash kill. That was beautiful. Double kill.
Simply.
13-2. The gold. They're about 10k gold advantage for VZL.
These are really
VLZ, sorry, my bad.
the early game tides in that.
This is what they should be looking for. They should be trying to push that early game with the glaive. Look at the damage. Idris is just deleted. He doesn't even know what hit him. Middle turret going down. Once again, VLZ looks pretty dominant. Their draft is so based on their... They can, of course, scale into the late game with the Varia. And Varia late game is insane. So, which was interesting why they didn't get a ban. I would assume that they will ban the glaive after this match, because they know how threatening Cinderella Man. That's a very nice name. Cinderella Man's glaive is. It's pretty effective. He's been pretty dominant in lane. Going back to their builds, Lyra does she have boost? I cannot see that if she does have boost. But she does have a lot of HP, and that's what you want on a support Lyra. Look at that CP Catherine. They broke through the turret. They're close to the first inhibitor. 600 damage by Varia, and this is not even fully built. She has an alternating current, a shattered glass, and a piercing shard. Top lane fight is still going on. It's like two titans fighting. Each of them sustains so well. They won't kill each other that fast. Arden is gonna go down. Now at this point, BLZ has a huge gold advantage. As long as they don't lose any members, this is going to be way in their favor. They can easily take objectives. Now at this point, you're going against a Celeste and a CP Idris and a Ringo. They can all steal with their ults. CP Idris can just steal with that chakram, but they're putting a lot of pressure. They just cannot get that right vision down. Celeste attempts, but she failed. This is going to be one of those huge team fights mid lane. We're just going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Lyra out of position. In this case, Lyra is going to be a backline healer. Rona's obliterated. Their bruiser has been deleted. Oh wait. That was their Arden. My bad. Yeah, I'm looking at two things at a time, so I'm trying to just keep up. But this first game is gonna be for VLZ. It's a sub 15-minute game. They have
I,
proven their dominance. Proven their dominance with about 11k gold lead. 24 to 3. Really, really powerful, really strong. That's a very good first game. Now, what this is gonna do is this is gonna kind of temper with their confidence, with the enemy team's confidence, and this is where it becomes dangerous, especially for a team that hasn't played that much competitive.
also, I do believe it's an experience for this new team. They will get to understand the competitive field and get a higher grasp and improve.
So, what are your thoughts on that first game?
Um, I that game was highly dominant in terms of VLZ. They had the gold um, increase compared to Legend, and their dominance was highly clear. In my opinion, it was well drafted. In my opinion, what's your opinion?
Well, it's pretty clear, as I said, they're gonna have to push the early game to mid game since they had Glaive. They just have to push that early game to mid game. Glaive alone can change the tides of a team fight if played correctly. We know that he's been buffed. Tension bow has been nerfed, but he still picked it up. And he's managed to put that early game tension bow to great use. He's been using it all over the whole entire map. He's kept perfect balance in every single lane. And in most cases, what I loved seeing is the balance between having the support in top lane and mid lane, and having the glaive in mid lane and bot lane. We just see this complete dominance, amazing play by VLZ. Now, this is second game. Once again, glaive, I believe he will be banned. Well, let's just hope he is banned. I just want to see out of meta pick. You know, this is how beautiful it can get. You just want to see out of meta picks and how players can push that out of meta pick into being a really powerful pick. So it was weird that we haven't seen a Taka. I assumed that we were gonna pick they were gonna pick a Taka, since you know Taka basically counters most of the laners in the game, and you have three laners, so it will be really annoying for the laners to deal with a Taka. But that glaive pick was perfect for every situation, especially that they did not have they did not have that early disengage. They had the Ardent, but they did it wasn't enough. He still stuck on them. He still destroyed them. And if Glaive didn't get the kill, he would always get their flask, which was a key feature in having their laners dominate the early game. It was a very well put together game. So how's it gonna be? Are we counting the first mistake within the draft, or are we counting this whole entire thing as 1 point to nothing to the other side?
Essentially, it's a best of three format. So, what you call it, if VLZ managed to seize the victory today, it's a single elimination bracket. So, Legend will be knocked out. However, if Legend do make a comeback, they do have a
It's
possibility
gonna be
of
one
winning the
last
game.
match.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. So the first mistake within the draft was not counted as a victory. I'd assume not.
Honestly, yeah, I'd assume not.
Alright. Kensei ban once again. I believe it's gonna be Kensei, probably Glaive if they really want to dominate again. If they want to give VLZ that key pick, I think VLZ will be very well known for that Glaive. That Glaive was beautiful by VLZ.
That was
Reza
beautiful.
banned by VLZ.
Uh,
Kensei is still open. We might see some Kensei if they decide not to ban it.
yeah, that'd be highly interesting. I'd like to see how this new hero performs in the competitive zone.
Haven't seen him play competitively before. Usually when you see a Kensei, it's always go all in, all in, all in, try to get a kill.
Yeah.
Lyra ban. I expected them to ban the Varus since they kind of hovered over it. I think they were just talking about how she was destroying them last game and they should ban it. But they decided to ban Lyra, which once again it is a great ban, especially in 5v5. Her bullwalk is amazing in 5v5 since she can stop nearly all movement speed abilities, since it slows and it can just block any form of dash. So it's really good to ban her, especially that VLZ has been pretty dominant on their Lyra and Glaive. So
Yes, and also
can't
I'd
say
just like
ban.
to make a general comment about the HypeFuse tournaments. If anyone would like to have a look at the HypeFuse tournament, please join our Discord server. I've left it in the chat. We are open to anyone and we have support at all times. So if you guys need any help entering the competitive zone, we're all here and we're all here to help you. And we do have a 10,000 ice prize pool, so there is also ice for grabs.
And just to add on that, you do not need any specific skill tier. You can just grab your friends and just join the server, and you can just sign up for that tournament. You don't need a specific skill tier. You don't need any requirements. The only requirement you need is for you to guys to have fun and get your teammates. That's all you guys need. Once again, 10k ice. That is a huge reward. Each of you, if you guys are a 5-man team, you're gonna get 2k ice each, which is a load of ice. Especially for just playing. And signing up for HypeFuse is completely free. You don't need to pay anything. All you need is a Smash GG account, and then you're welcome to join. So
Yes,
we see a Lorelei.
and more specifics on the prize pool. We have this time implemented a second place reward. So even if you become second place, you do get a share of that 10,000 ice pool.
We see a Lorelei. What are your thoughts on this? This Lorelei is really interesting. I have not seen a lot of Lorelei's lately. Just because she's very punishing. If you do miss an ability, you are completely useless. If you do ult the wrong person, it is completely bad. And if you don't really land your slows, and it's basically a slow on a speed up, if you don't land that properly, it is also punishing. So this is a very, very, very
Interesting.
serious pick coming out from VLZ.
Hmm. I think they are trying to. I think they've realized that the enemy team have kind of caught on to their strategy, and they're trying to adapt themselves to change their strategy so that the other team can't adapt to the strategy.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
They grabbed the Samuel, and I'd like to point out that that Catherine pick is amazing, especially against the Samuel, since if he is on his Drifting Dark, what you want to do is you want to either stop that Malice and Vertec, or you want to use your shield and try to reflect as much damage away. It's going to help her body block Malice and Vertec as well. Um, Adagio seems like it could be a Crystal Power Lorelei, who knows. She is really strong, she can stack Dragon's Eye really quick. Or it could be a Weapon Power Adagio as well, since he has massive range. So I like how they pick the supports in 5v5 and they keep the enemy guessing. Glaive pick once again. They realize that this was a really dominant pick. So they picked it again. Now this seems like they're copying the last draft, if I do say so myself. Are they gonna go for Scarf? They needed Crystal Power. Is it gonna be a Vox? It is gonna be a CP Vox. This is gonna be a very interesting game. CP Vox top lane. As I said, they look like they're kind of copying last game's draft. If you notice, Varia, Gwen, and
Yeah.
Glaive, they have copied that draft. So once again, if they push the early advantage with the Glaive, all they need is that early advantage with the Glaive. Since they do have a Catherine, their CC is going to be incredible, including that they have a Glaive. That's just a load of CC. Glaive with weapon power buff is insane, and we see a Cruel pick. Cruel has been nerfed as well, so this is going to be very interesting, especially that Tension Bow and Cruel both have been nerfed.
Hmm.
So, well, Cruel's completely useless. He's still strong, especially if you can give him an early advantage. He's really, really strong. He's just gonna have to gank a lot. He's gonna have to feed over kills and not necessarily farm. So this is gonna be a very interesting game to look at. All right, looks like it's gonna be a CP Adagio and a Lorelei support.
Hmm. This match is going to be very interesting. It's really going to decide the fate of Legend or the success of VLZ.
Glaive perfect afterburn, but she does use boots and she does get away. Now they have to keep in mind that Lorelei does not have her boots anymore. So if they do engage one more time, she should be dead. Top lane is having an engage as well, but they kind of disengaged. Cruel is camping that bush. If he does get a good engage on the Vox, Cruel somewhat counters Vox. So if he does push that Vox into a point where he does not have enough items to carry himself into the late game, it is going to be very difficult for Legend. So that Catherine should keep Vox safe. Cruel going for the CP buff on A side. They do grab that. Gwen and Glaive are pretty low. If Adagio decides to just peek in there, it could go in two ways. He could either die or he could either get the kills. Look at the pressure in top lane. Vox is too afraid to leave his turret. He knows if he does leave the turret, he's gonna get a cruel to the face. So he also lost his vision on the river bush, so he just can't really leave the lane. Bot lane is getting pushed for some early damage on the turret. It's not going to be much, but it will be enough. It will be enough for the late game. Of course, every chip of damage does have its consequence on the long run. Glaive using boots. Is he gonna afterburn? Afterburn's back into the Gwen. Adagio's down. First blood goes to Legends. Once again, that Glaive pick, it is amazing. If you can master Glaive, you can control most lanes easily. Cruel's in the bush, going to engage on the Gwen. Now Glaive does have a weapon buff, so if Gwen can get away, Glaive can keep that Cruel away. That one more mouse invert. There you go. He got Gwen. The gold lead once again seems to be in the favor of VLZ. They just farm way better than Legends. Legends have to step up their farming game if they do want to catch up. Killing them will not be enough. You know, necessarily kills wouldn't necessarily just give you an advantage. It would also be that the factor of you farming in the game. That's where most of your gold comes in.
Yeah.
So they're in their back jungle. Are we gonna see a engage? Cruel dives the turret. Looks like a kill. It is a kill. Cruel grabs that. Once again, if you do push a Cruel into a state where he can become really dominant, it's going to be really hard to recover from that because Cruel can stick on you and he can deal a lot, especially with that weapon buff. He's really, really disgusting with that weapon buff. Gwen barely escapes that Adagio. Glaive going in. Adagio's pretty low, but he does use his flask. And once again, with the Glaive, he either gets the kill or gets the flask or gets the boots or gets something really critical for a laner. Top lane, Cruel, it looks like a 3-man gank. Goes in, speeding up the Cruel. These turrets in 5v5, they're really oh, okay, Cruel's dead. These turrets in 5v5 are really strong. They get 2 kills. Gwen gets 2 kills from that engage. I think they got a little bit too confident with that. But it is still a turret. They still are gonna hit the turret really hard. Blackfeather decides to leave the turret alone. I thought it was gonna go for more of the damage, but he does leave the turret alone. Gwen is alone in bot lane. If she does run into this Adagio, she could potentially die, especially that Samuel seems to be wanting to help with the pressure. Now, VLZ does have have vision inside Legends jungle, so this will be very hard for Legends to do a maneuver in the red side of the jungle towards the red buff. It's going to be really hard. Because that vision is going to be really bad for them.
We can also see in this match the dominance of tension bow used by VLZ. I mean Legends. What's your comment on the dominance of tension bow being used, especially after the nerf, and that they're still using it?
Well, Tension Bow has always been a good item. It's been always a great weapon power early item, especially that the proc that it gives is kind of different than Aftershock. You don't necessarily need to use an ability. And early game, Tension Bow is really powerful. It deals a load of damage. Although it has been nerfed, it is still a powerful item. It is not as powerful as it used to be, but it is still a powerful item. Now, seeing two Tension Bows, I don't necessarily know about that. I would personally, my personal favorite I would rather go for on one of these guys, a Sword Blade like Gwen, for example. Now, she does have that potential to poke out of lane. Gwen does have that potential, especially with the buckshot. She does have a lot of potential. But that tension bow is going to be a very difficult situation for the Gwen to deal with later on, especially that it does not scale into the late game. Sword Blade would be a very better item to pick up, but if they can't push the early game, which seems to be the case with the tension bow on the glaive and the Gwen, especially in bot lane, we've seen an explosive amount of damage. So if that can happen, then they can put the tension bow to great use. Yes, it's more of a give and take situation. You take from the early game, you kind of give in the late game. So they're gonna have to need that huge gold advantage to sell that tension bow and buy a different item later on. Or they might hold on to the tension bow, who knows? It does give you piercing, so. Black Feather with that kill on top lane, Vox is in trouble. Once again, you can see that Vox's damage is barely noticeable on the Black Feather. This is what they wanted to do for the Vox. If they can keep him from farming, it will be just amazing for the Black Feather. Black Feather is ahead in farm when you compare it to the Vox, which is perfect for VLZ. Once again, they're pushing their advantages. They have about 5k gold lead now. 7-4. Now, Legends are playing safer. As you saw, Vox didn't really attempt. He just gave that turret because he knew it's either the turret or me and the turret, and he chose to just give up the turret. He doesn't engage bot lane. Everywhere I see glaive, there has to be that golden engage, and okay, they lose the Gwen. She ulted, but she couldn't ult. The channeling was not fast enough. Beautiful over the wall. Over the wall, sorry, my bad.
So after this stream, we will be having, I believe, MLG versus Seer. That will be a highly interesting match. We also have been possibly Poetic Neto joining us as a caster, so we'll have a look at that next match. Or possibly the match.
Catherine with that ult, she does not connect to anyone, but she will get that vision. Samuel's pretty low on HP, so he's gonna have to either bait them to stay in mid lane or he will have to just leave. Both of them would be good, especially that bot lane is kind of getting pushed really bad. They do give up on bot lane. They're moving mid lane now for a team fight. Gwen and Glaive are not there, so it's gonna be a 5v3. We're looking, I think they're gonna take this turret, I believe. If they do put their pressure. Cruel is going for the blue buff top, as we can see. Nice afterburn once again by the Glaive. It looks like every Glaive player in the tournament can do something beautiful with the Glaive. Now they're gonna have to focus on that turret really hard, trying to kill it before it deals any more damage. Glaive really low, wouldn't really be able to do anything unless if he does outplay that Black Feather with the afterburn. He just disengages with it. They're going for Ghostwing capture. Now we know that Ghostwing has been nerfed as well. His shield has been nerfed, and his true damage when it comes to his what do you call it, objective damage, has been also nerfed. So it is still a great objective for team fighting and for taking objectives though. That defensive ult by Gwen, she still dies. We can see how if you push that, if you just push that little, just a little bit, if you push the Cruel, he can be really powerful. Especially in level 8. Once Cruel hits level 8, he's the good old Cruel we all know and hate. So he's back. once he hits level 8, since they changed the scaling on his sustain on his spectral smite. So once he hits level 8, he's the good old cool. Could this be a double kill? That is a that was very nice by DML. That was a very well played shot. He ults over the wall. He does get the Gwen. Gwen loses a lot of HP. She's gonna need a lot of defense to stay in the late game. But I don't think that DLZ are planning on giving them late game or planning on wasting any more time. They look like they really want to finish. They're just putting a lot of pressure. And if this minion wave collides with the turret, this turret is dead. The top turret is gone. Bot turret is gone. Mid turret is, well, it's all healthy. But I think if they do grab these two inhibitors, it's the end of the game because they can't really keep that base healthy. Barrier ult. Interesting fountain. That was a fountain, but he still died. So that was sad. That was a sad moment for BML. But BML has been having this huge impact on the game.
Mhm. Yeah, BMR has been showing his dominance throughout this.
He's been really strong mid lane. He's been very, very strong mid lane. Especially last game, his Vario was very nice. I just that highlight of him just dashing into the Ringo, thinking that he was safe. That was nice. That was a very nice engage. Once again, we see a 10k. Well, it's not a 10k. It's a 15k gold lead. Once again, 5 to 20 kills. Kills don't really necessarily matter unless if it's a huge gold lead that they've given out. But in this case, they do need to win this team fight. They seem like they're getting obliterated by VLZ. VLZ has a few members that are low. They keep their positioning, which is nice. It's basically because these guys, they just have to run away. VLZ has a 4v1 against the Varia. If they can get the Varia, it is a free ghost wing. All they have in base, or they're gonna try to finish. All they have in base is a Gwen, a very, very squishy Gwen. So if they do engage on the Gwen, she is dead. A nice stun by Lorelei. Once again, this Lorelei pick has been beautiful. I thought that they were gonna kind of regret it a little bit since she's a really punishing. She's really good, but she's really punishing in the game. So I thought that they were gonna regret it, but they've been really dominant on that Lorelei.
Yeah, VLZ are looking to seize the lead very soon. They do have the gold dominance, full dominance, and their builds are more stacked up than Legend.
That is second game.
And that is
GG to everyone. That was a very great performance by both teams. VLZ just showed us the true dominance that they have, and they had just had a wide champion pool to choose from. So even though they did ban and pick a few of their basically the picks that they have dominated the first game, they still couldn't manage to win that. Well,
I guess that is the end of the stream. So VLZ have become victorious today. I do ask both teams to submit their scores to Smash GG, follow the typical process, and that will lead to VLZ moving on to the next round, and they will be against Alpitane Gaming, and also we will have MG Puka versus CM, and then whoever wins both of those brackets will be in the finals and have a chance of becoming HypeFuse's EU tournament winners for this May season. I would just like to say thank you for everyone who came to watch the stream today. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our streamer and caster. So our streamer is Intel Techno, who kindly stepped in today to help you are lower streamers, and also same to Helix, his first time casting, and it has simply been amazing how he has worked with such little, has done such good casting. I'd just like to say thank you.
you're welcome anytime, buddy. It was fun. It was fun. And right before we end the stream, just to let you know, guys, if you want to join HypeFuse, we have all the links down. It is completely free. You can just join. You don't need to pay anything. Just grab your friends, join, and you're welcome to join any tournament depending on the season and time. Just to keep in mind that if you guys think that there's any timing issues, you can actually just look at the brackets, and if you don't like the time, you can just talk to anybody. But you're very much welcome to join HypeFuse's tournaments.
Yes, HypeFuse is open to anyone. We are all about the community. We would love to get you guys involved in the competitive scene. And yeah, essentially, if you just want to find out more information about us, just literally type in your browsers hypefuse.to. You can check us out on Twitter. All our social links are enclosed in the link hypefuse.to. I'd just like to end the stream, and I'd like to say thank you everyone for joining our stream today. We really appreciate the love. All right.